Oh, hey, welcome back to another episode of Behind the Lens. On today's episode, my guest is John, aka J Shot on Instagram. Now, I like turtles, big fan, but J Shot, he just might be a bigger fan. And that's what caught my eye when it came to his toy photography. One of the pictures that got me that I can remember right off the top of my head was his Turtles Thanksgiving shot last year. Man, what a shot. So I asked him to sit down with me and chop it up about his love for toy photography. So, without further ado, here's J Shot.
Um, the first question I've been asking everybody is basically what inspired you to pick up the camera? Like, what made you say, "Oh, this is something I want to do," whether it be toy photography or just photography in general?
So I 100% blame Machu for this, right? Like, he started doing it, and him and I were talking about it, and I was one of those guys that like I always collected toys as a kid. I played with toys, loved it, got into like the creative space for work, and what was frustrating for me is I never had like my own outlet, right? Like I was always working, and I'm not that guy, right? I'm not a graphic designer. I'm not a camera guy. Like I'm not that kind of thing. But I always had like these ideas that I wanted to try to get out there to other people or to the guys that I was working with. And as Machu and I were talking, and he was showing me, and I literally like, just got back into collecting a little bit, and then I was like with my phone on my desk during work calls, like taking like my first few shots are literally of figures on my desk of my phone. And then it just progressed from there, and it became something though that like was really great for me because it like gave me an outlet, but it also taught me, like I was able to take everything I had learned throughout the years, but then also like was able to take what I had learned and now can translate it into what I do for work. So like I used to be when a video guy would say to me, "Hey, I'm going to shoot this and I'm going to lower the f-stop and I'm going to open up that," and I'd be like, "Cool. I don't know what that means, but cool. Do your thing, man." But now, like, I get it a little bit. Now I'm like, "Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, open it up a little bit more, or close it down a little bit more, whatever." So like, so that just actually made me more confident on set, which was great. I'm still not confident in the photography aspect of it because I partner with Machu, so it's like. It's like, "Hey, look, I could draw," and holding that up to Picasso, and Picasso's like, "That's cute." But like he's definitely supportive, pushes me in the right ways. But yeah, it's always like, it's like chasing giants type of thing, that kind of thing.
Nice. Yeah, I'm the same way you said, like f-stop this and all that. I'm just like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I know exactly. Okay, I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about. And I
Quickly
go,
Google.
yeah, Google.
Yeah.
Go straight to Google.
Yeah.
Straight to Google. So you said you started off with using your cell phone.
Yeah.
So after how long did you use your cell phone for? And then what was the first camera that you picked up?
So I definitely used it probably for the first couple of months. And it was like a Google Pixel. Like I didn't even have an iPhone at the time, right? So like, making a big jump there. And then the first camera I picked up, I borrowed it from work, was a 5D. So that's what I've been using. So we just like, we have gear that's laying around that nobody's using. And I was like, "Cool, I'm going to take this home. Anybody care?" And they're like, "Nah, we haven't really used it." And I was like, "Awesome." So like, I'm still contracted. If it has to go back, I've got to bring it back. But until then, nobody's missing it. So it works out. So
Nice.
I'm sure now after they see this, they'll be like, "Hey, you want to bring that back?" I'm like, "No."
No one's gonna watch this. No one sees anything I do.
it.
No one sees anything I do.
No.
So it's what's that? A 5D? That's a Canon, now, right?
Canon. Yeah, it's Canon. Yeah, I'm a Canon guy. I know the Sonys are a little bit bluer, sometimes they're a little bit sharper, but there's something about the warmth that I find in a Canon that I really like.
Yeah, I find it like very easy to use. Like,
Yeah.
and it's not so technical and like advanced and all this mumbo jumbo and all these buttons and mechanisms like Ernie says, but I do find it easy to use. I want to upgrade, but I've gotten tips before when I first started doing this, and it was wow, that sucks.
What is that?
The shower upstairs.
Oh,
that sucks.
All right.
No, that sucks. I don't even know what I was saying anyway.
How the ease of use.
I find it easy to use, and I want to upgrade eventually, but I really seriously still don't know how to use the one I actually have. Like, still mess with it. Yeah. I went, I kind of had it set for shots here to do, toy photography, but then one day I took it outside and messed with that, and I don't know what I did, and I don't even remember the settings I had for when I had it indoors, and I'm just like, here we go, back to square one,
There's something nice though. There's something nice though about having to go back to square one, right? Like, you know what I mean? You're almost like learning again and you're teaching, but at the same time you're like, oh, I remember doing this, or oh, I remember doing that. So I kind of like the idea that you're like, all right, hit the button, make it factory default, you know what I mean? And then like pick it back up.
Yeah. Like this, I did a shot recently, well, a while ago, and it was like, what am I doing? I was like, yeah, this is my first shot all over again.
Yeah.
Like messing with it, not at all,
Dude, I feel the same way. Like if I take a break for more than like a week of shooting, it's like, cool, this might as well be in Greek for me. Like, I don't know what this is anymore. Like, I'm so confused.
Oh, man. So with the Canon 5D, what type of lens do you have or like using? Or do you have multiple lenses that you work with?
I have a few different lenses, but I can never remember. But I predominantly use the 24 to 104. Yeah, or 105, 24 to 105. So it's a zoom lens. I've also got a 50. And I think I got like a 20. No, I got a 50. There's one other one, but the 24 to 105 is the one I use the most for sure. So, as much as I like the locked off the lenses, it just like it gives you the variety, right? It gives you the option to play around with it.
Yeah.
Move it back a little bit.
I want to try and go like different lenses. I got a couple. I bought that like that kit that brings like the lenses and the camera and everything,
Yeah.
And then I was fortunate enough to get a lens, the macro from Sergeant Bananas. So I've been messing with that ever since, and like I love it. I think it's great. It's awesome. But I've seen like with other guys that I've talked to prior to this, it's they have the 50 M, and then like some other ones, and I'm like, ooh, those look cool. Like I kind of want that too. I want to see what that's about.
It's a slippery slope, right? Because like you could get into some really nice lenses for $4,000 or $5,000, and you're just like, do I like toys that much? I don't know. Like so. But I find like especially for you're talking about like starting out or something. I think getting a 50 or starting with the zoom lens like that, that's your best bet.
Yeah, man. Yeah. What about accessories? Like, do you use a lot of accessories, like either for your lenses or maybe like lighting, flight stands, anything like that?
So I haven't gotten flight stands yet. I do want to pick up a pair of those. But when I first started out, I just had that camera, and then I picked up the Falcon Eyes, which are like the small light panels. I had two of those. They were like on sale on Amazon one day for like $100.
Nice.
So I picked those up, and then I started to use that. I went and I got a set of the little Lume cubes, but I like the Lume cubes because it came with the barn doors and it had the diffuser and the snoot. So I got it's all right. I can wait. Like I'm good at that. So it had the snoot on it. So I like that. And then that was it. Like I don't like, I've got a couple light stands that I just had like randomly, but yeah, I mean, especially when I first started, it was just, quick and dirty type of stuff. I would actually like open up the window back here, try to get some natural light or something. But yeah, now I predominantly still use the Falcon Eyes as my main sources. I do have these bigger lights that are actually up here, but I hate moving them because then I got to readjust them for streams. And I was always like, yeah, they'll just stay there. So, yeah,
man. I wanted to get Lume Cubes, but I was like, yo, the price on that stuff is at the time. I was just like, I don't want to spend that much money.
Yeah, and you know what? I kind of, as much as I like the Lume Cubes, I really like the Lume Cubes for their accessories more than anything else. Like they don't hold a charge, I'm constantly charging them, even if I don't use them. I've got to charge them. So I don't know how much that I would recommend the Lume Cube. Yeah. But I mean, what I do like about them is they're small. Like they're small, so they can get, you can really hide them behind something in a shot.
Yeah.
There's the other ones that everyone's kind of getting. The Luanzi, is that what it is? How do you say that?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, those actually, I'm actually thinking about picking up a set of those and those have the color palettes too, right? So you could change the color on the light as opposed to putting on filters.
Oh, okay. Oh, nice, and probably a lot cheaper too, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I gotta get jumping on lighting. I still have like this right there with the foil.
It's a good thing to start with. That's like a sun. It's good.
Yeah, I try to. I'm trying like things out, but a lot of these tips from all you guys is really helping me out with remembering stuff,
Well, honestly, that's kind of the best part, right? And that's what I love about this community is that you're always trying to be better, but you're not trying, like there's no competition, right? Like I'm not competing with Matt, right? Like it's like I'm not, obviously because there's no competition, you'd kick my ass every time. But like I'm still learning from him. I'm not trying to, you're the only person you're really competing with is yourself. So like just like you're saying, just like, hey, you want to get better at lighting? Like cool. Like there's a ton of stuff that you can do and not have to spend a bunch of money. There's a bunch of stuff that I'm still learning. And I think Trevor's talked about this before too, where he'll like just go online and study portrait lighting, like not like toy photography lighting, but like study portrait lighting. One thing I did start doing in the beginning was I bought black, like, not cardboard, but like foam board, but like, and that like helps with like eating light or like absorbing some of the light sometimes. And that's like something that's like, picked it up at like $10 at the craft store. And that like really helps with like giving it some like drama to it, or, helping light something in a good way. And then like eating out light, like, especially if you want to split a light, like that's been fun to do.
Oh yeah. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's a nice tip right there.
Yeah, see, there you go. And it's like $10 for like 4 pieces. They're like this thick, it's nothing.
Yeah. Oh, that's pretty cool. When like, have you done outdoor shots or are you just mainly indoor?
Yeah, I've done a couple of outdoor shots. There's like a speeder bike trooper shot that I did outdoors that I really like. Yeah, I don't mind shooting outdoors. I mean, like I don't have anything out here like where I am like to really like go shoot. Like I'd have to travel to go somewhere. But that speeder bike shot was done in Maine. We were on vacation and I just like, of course, took photos and their kids were like napping and I was like, I'm gonna go sneak out for a minute. She's but yeah, I like shooting outdoors, and when, like if I go to shoot outdoors, I'll just take like one of those light panels with me to just kind of help enhance it. But that's like, to me, lighting is the most difficult part. So if you can go outside where everything's pretty much lit already for you, why not? Make it easier on yourself.
So do you like when you do travel, do you take like figs and things like that, like your camera equipment with you?
So depending on where we're going, like for something like Maine, right? Like that we stay in a house for 10 days or like that. So like, yeah, I'll bring my backpack with me and bring a camera and bring a lens, and I'll take a couple figures with me, like knowing, all right, like we're gonna be out in the woods, so bring a speeder bike trooper. I think I brought like Usagi with me. Like I try to think about where we're going and what makes the most sense. But if we go, like if we just go out to like a toy show, I always forget a pocket fig. And I'm always like, oh damn, I forgot a pocket fig. But at the same time, it's like we're out there, we're like talking to so many people. I don't want to do it. I used to take like a figure back and forth to work with me. And like the one time I took Vapor and I put him on like the subway tracks. And like I took a picture and I was like, man, I must look freaking crazy right now because I'm like on the floor with my phone. And then I was like, yeah, it's New York. They don't care. But yeah, I mean, if I know I'm going to be somewhere and I can think of a figure that makes sense, I'll take it with me. But I don't know. I don't really like travel. Like I don't do the pocket fig thing that much. Probably should do it more, but
I don't think I've ever done a pocket fig. I just felt stupid carrying a toy in my pocket.
We're too busy. Like, we're meeting people. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, hey guys, look at this.
Right. Look at my woo. Look.
Yeah. I just picked this Mario up. Look.
Yeah.
It's like we're not in show and tell anymore.
Right, yeah. Shut up and sit there and watch it. Yeah. Oh.
That's what toying around is for, right?
Yeah, that's it. It's a show. Yeah.
we could show all that off on Kevin's show,
yeah,
right?
That's it. We'll get on Kevin's show. Kevin, we got stuff to do. Yeah. Stop talking.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, speaking of figures, has there been a figure that you've been excited to get, maybe like a pre-order or something, and then when you finally got it, it was just like, dude, I just can't capture this. It's not coming out the way I want to, like, just never probably touched it again after that.
Yeah, there was, and I'm trying to think of it. Like there was one of them, and I'm looking around to see because I remember getting it. And then I was so hyped to get it. And it kind of happened a little bit with the Crow. I ended up just posting that figure, but like, I loved it so much. And it brought back, totally brought me back to high school. And I was like, oh man, but I couldn't get it dark and moody enough, but still see the detail enough. And I think I just put the picture up because it's like, when you just get so frustrated, you're just like, I got to put this up. But I actually, so that was like a specific one that stands out, but I'm a huge Iron Man fan. And I don't post any pictures of Iron Man because I'm always like overwhelmed with the ideas of what I want to do and how I want to do it. And I want to do like Iron Man service, like, because it's like, it's like, don't meet your heroes, right? Like, I don't want to screw this up. It's like, I know he's a comic book character, but like at the same time, I'm like, what if he sees this and he doesn't like it? Like it's that kind of thing that you're thinking about. So yeah, I've got a ton of Iron Man figures. Like I might even have more Iron Man figures than I have Ninja Turtles. So like that is like, but I don't know why. Like I'm so intimidated by it because I'm like, I want to do it and I want to do it so well, and I feel like I just don't have the the right. Why did I get like really hot? Like okay, all right, so that was weird.
I thought my eyes were going crazy.
No, it's just like all of a sudden picked up. But yeah, so Iron Man is for some reason one of those figures that I'm just like, man, I really want to shoot it, but I don't shoot it enough. Like I've got the Hulkbuster. That 3-0 Hulkbuster is amazing.
Ooh. Oh,
and I've had a shot in my head where he's battling the Sentinels for literally months, and I'm just like, I'm not gonna be able to do it right. I'm not gonna be able to do it right. So. But yeah,
that's that whole getting in your own head, right? Mm-hmm. That we all that's stuff we all deal with, right? It's like you go and you're like, damn, nah, this ain't good, and it's because we're our worst possible critic is yourself, right?
Yeah, we're definitely our own worst enemies, and I know that if I would just clean off my area, take that 3-0 Hulkbuster out, eventually I'll get there. Like, and that's the other thing that I find too is that I'll say to myself like, all right, I got like 3 hours, like go do a shot. And it's like, whether it's 3 hours or 3 days, who cares, right? Like if I just took that figure out and just played with it for a couple of days to get the pose right, who cares, right? Like that's the other thing. Like, and I got caught up too when I was in the beginning. Was like, all right, I got to post something every day, right? Like that Mamba mentality of like every day, every day, every day. But you don't have to post something every day. Like, but if you're like honing your craft or you're practicing, right? Like to me now, the everyday is play with the figure, work on your posing, do things like that. That to me is like helped more than I got to get this picture out. I got to get a shot out because then you become stressed. Like this is supposed to be fun, right? Like I don't want to be stressed. I got work for stress. Like that's, like this is supposed to be fun. And that's helped me a lot too, where it was just like, all right, you don't put a picture out when you're ready, but work on something every day that'll just make you better, right? Whether it's, like I'm posing up Wu to try to figure out the best way to get him. He's actually a pretty cool looking figure. He comes with absolutely nothing. Like he comes with that hand with the card and another hand, and that's it. It's weird. But yeah, and then I've been like just randomly kit bashing. Like, I don't know. I had a Khonshu. I got the Khonshu head for some reason. I don't know why, but I really like him on the Ronin body with the Rocksteady helmet. I don't know. It works. It works. So
that's funny.
But yeah.
When you started, did you like join any groups like, we all know about ACBA or stuff like that, like to maybe pick up pointers in a way or just to see other people's photography?
So yeah, I mean, I definitely, when I started, I like just started everybody, like anybody that was nice to me, I like followed immediately and like would just learn from them. I mean, I always had Machu, right? Like he was always my go-to. Like a shot does not go live that doesn't go through Machu's eyes. Actually, there's only like 3 shots that went live that he didn't see. One of them was really successful, and I kind of like keep that in my back pocket. But yeah, no, I mean, I just like, I dove in head first in the community, whether it was like, with the Migos show or Kevin and the Enablers. ACBA scared the shit out of me, scared the crap out of me. Because they were like, they're so like, they're really good, but they're also like, there's no holds bar with the feedback, right? Where like, once I tagged them in a post and immediately got notes of like, what was it? I had like word bubbles in there, and like word bubbles are always parallel in the comic panel. That's great feedback. But also, did you like it? Like, did you like the picture otherwise? So ACBA, Trevor's amazing. He's also, what do we call him? Simon Cowell of toy photography, where he's going to give it to you. And, Matt's always like, I can't wait for Trevor to like look at my stuff. And I'm like, I never want to know what Trevor thinks of my stuff. I will cry in a corner for days. And that's, it's like, you just respect him so much that you don't want to hear, you don't want to be told your baby's ugly. Who else when I started? Yeah, I mean, those were the big guys. And then, like getting to talk to them now through the show, like that's probably some of the best parts too, where like you actually get to talk to these people, you talk to you. I mean, getting to talk to Johnny and to Sergeant Bananas was like I had to stop myself from just totally geeking out, like, and I think I geeked out a little bit too on the show. I was like, I have your book. You want to sign my book? So, but it's fun.
Yeah. Nah, it's always cool, like, to start, to when you start off, like you said, you start following some of these people, some of these photographers, and then eventually like forming a type of friendship, right?
Yeah.
With them. And then it's awesome for them to give you feedback that you feel comfortable taking.
Yes.
Like, because it's like, if you're telling me something, I'm going to be like, oh, okay. Oh yeah. You know what? You're right. Yeah. Let me go back, try to mess with this and or remember what he said. And it's different. Like if, let's say, Amachu was on ACBA or something, or any group, and I didn't know the guy, and just randomly hits me with a comment like, "Oh, dude, you should do this and this," and I'm like, "Ah, man, damn,
yeah,
I suck, I'm trash."
I'm garbage. It's all garbage. I'm taking it down.
Yeah, but it's cool, like when you get like that, like like you said with Trevor and stuff like that, to help you out and like give you pointers to get better, right?
Yeah. And that's what I like. And it's kind of just though too, right? Like if somebody asks me for feedback, the way that I always like to do it though is I always like to talk about what I really like in the shot and then like what could be better. Right. Like I never just want to be like, like you show me a picture and I'm like, oh, change the posing. Right. I'm always like, oh man, like I really love the lighting here. I think, what if you moved his arm up a little bit though, so that the reflection hits better? Like I'm trying to, I want to like get people excited about getting feedback. Like that sounds weird, but it's like, technically feedback is neither good nor bad. It's just notes.
Yeah.
However, I feel like the way that it gets delivered is more important than anything else. So like if I say to you, hey, yeah, like shot looks good, man. But what's with that pose? You're like, what do you mean? Well, why'd you say it was good? But if I'm like, hey man, shot looks great. Like I really, you really did a good job on the lighting. I think if we fix the pose up a little bit, like, this could be a really killer shot.
Yeah, definitely. It's more you feel more at ease when it comes to someone right?
Yeah.
How long have you been into this? Like, getting into the toy photography?
I think it's less than 2 years at this point, man. Like I'm pretty new. I'll always consider myself a rookie, but yeah, I mean, I got started like kind of recollecting mid-pandemic, and then really starting to do the shots. I would say probably towards the end of either the end of 2020 or the beginning of 2021. Time is like a flat circle at this point. Like I have no idea where we are or what we're doing anymore. So, but yeah, I would say definitely within the last 2 years.
Oh, nice. I mean, man, only 2 years, and
yeah,
I feel like you're pretty nice with it, man. You're pretty nice with it.
I appreciate that.
Hey, I hope you've been liking the episode so far. I'm here working on this shot still. I got some new ideas, more lights, smoke machine. So, wish me luck. But in the meantime, check out some of these photos that Jay Shot's taken from when he started to where he's at now. Check these out.
All right, so 2 years, damn.
Yeah.
Nah, you've been doing a low year before that.
Yeah. I've been in the industry, like doing creative work, whether it's photography or video and things like that, for almost 20 years at this point. But like straight up toy photography has been like 2 years, a little under 2 years.
So before that, what was it that you were shooting? Like
So I mean, I've been doing I've been a creative director for over 10 years now. So I've done commercials, I've done live streams, I've done events, live action stuff, animated stuff, things like that. So I mean, I've been all over the map. I worked for a small agency for a while, but like we had really big clients like in the tech and finance firms. And then before that I worked in events, where we did a lot of live streaming. Like even before it was a thing, like even before like live stream was a thing. Actually was kind of bummed because I was like with a guy and we were supposed to start our own live streaming company like 2 or 3 years before the pandemic hit. And I was like, damn, we really would have capitalized on that. But everything happens for a reason. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, so I mean I've been looking through a camera lens for a good portion of my life. So I mean I know where to place it, but I don't, I was never the guy that would like, open the f-stop or put a light up or, do things like that. So like now that I'm actually doing it, I do enjoy it. It does get frustrating because I'd much rather sit back and be like, yeah, we need a little more light there. Make that happen. But
Now with you going from that to the toy photography,
Mhm.
has either or made you better in
Yeah.
like the other field?
Definitely. Definitely. I mean, I understand so much more now about, photography and lighting and things like that, that it's definitely made me better. And it's made me a better communicator, right? Like I can now talk to, other director of photography's lighting guys to say, hey, this is what I want to do. Why don't we try dropping this in here or moving this, or let's bring the camera back and to add more depth, like, things like that. Like I've definitely got a better grasp on it. I knew what I was talking about before, but like to get into the nitty gritty and the details, like that's now where I'm able to be.
That's pretty cool, man. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Do you show off like any of the toy photography at work, like to the coworkers?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No,
Yeah.
I've been like, yeah, dude. I don't. The only people I hide this stuff from is my parents. But so they'll be like, "What's this Ninja Turtle box that got delivered to you?" I was like, it's Grayson's. Don't worry about it. But yeah, no, I'll show it off at work. I try to get the work people to like watch the live stream. So yeah, dude. Like, it's I'm having fun, and I think that's especially people at work don't always see me having fun because it's work. So I try to bring out a different side, and a lot of the people we deal with are creatives, and they're just as interested in things like this, whether they're cosplayers or graphic designers or animators. So yeah, I mean, I definitely don't hide it.
That's pretty awesome, man. That's pretty awesome. No one knows anything. I literally just told my wife a couple weeks ago about this whole show that I'm doing.
Nice.
I see the look in her eyes, and I'm just like, yeah, I'll just stop talking now.
You start to gloss over a little bit. Like,
yeah. She's like, it's just like, oh, that little, the nice, polite. Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's
cool.
I'm just like,
honey. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. You know what? So, what do you want to drink?
Yeah, I get it.
It's a lot of like, when I first got into collecting, it was almost like a little forbidden, like my own little secret, like no one should know. That's and it's I hear that, I heard that from a lot, but now it's more like, hell yeah, I collect.
Right.
Who doesn't? Right?
Yeah. Oh, you just go to a bar every Friday and drink? That sounds weird. I stay home and play with toys. So cool.
You know how many live streams I've been on?
Right.
How many shows I've been on?
I said that this week. I was like, I had a busy week. I'm on 3 live streams this week. Everybody, like,
dude, like, I'm telling them right now, like, hey, be quiet. I got to do a podcast. And they're like, yeah. Obviously they didn't care.
Yeah. I get that sometimes too, where I just be like, was it the other night? We were on Yimbo stream on Sunday, and it was like 10:30 at night, and like in walks my daughter, and I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, I want to say hello. I was like, go to bed. But it's fun. I mean, it's fun. You get the kids involved sometimes, and it's you're definitely right. Like when you start, it feels like weird, like it's like a secret, and now the only thing I keep secret is just like how much I pay for stuff. That's the only thing. Where it's like, my favorite audio on TikTok is that audio where it's like, how much did it cost? They gave it to me.
Yeah.
They gave it to me. Yeah. Why are you lying? No, they gave it to me. They were like, here. I was like, oh, okay.
My thing for the longest was it was a pre-order I ordered like about a year ago.
Yep. I pre-ordered. Yeah. I say that all the time.
And then the pandemic messed that lie up.
Yeah.
Everything shut down. When did you order it again? I'm like, the day before they announced it.
No, that's definitely a good one that still hits. It'd be like what I think I got, like, there was one day where there was literally like 6 boxes outside, and I was just like, I'm gonna hear this one. So I don't know. I knew now my new one is I knew that somebody was gonna send me something for the show. She's like, oh really? You're getting stuff for the show now? And I'm like, yeah, we're getting traction. She was like, okay. I don't think she buys it. I just think she's tired of fighting about it,
Yeah, I'm constantly like, yeah, oh man, someone just sent me something else, and they're like, really? Yeah. I'm like, yeah, they must like me.
Yeah, let me see that invoice. What invoice? Yeah.
But man, that's pretty cool that your coworkers and everything, they dig it and stuff like that, and no hiding from it from anyone. Um, we spoke I actually about a figure that didn't photograph well that you might. What's a figure that you just love shooting, no matter what day it is, that you might just go back to it, like whatever the case may be.
It's the turtles. It's got to be that 4-pack. For some reason, there's just like as many other turtle figures as I try to get. There's something about that like first 4-pack that I picked up, the In Disguise one.
Okay.
That I just keep going back to, and I think I keep going back to them because they were my first turtle pickup. And I picked it up randomly. Like I wasn't like, because when I was a kid, I had all the Playmates figures, and like I was really just trying to stick to Marvel. I didn't want to like expand out too much. And then like casually, I picked up like a Marty McFly, or I picked up an Ash from Evil Dead. And then I remember like everybody was looking for that Disguise pack, and it was just there in Target. And I was like, oh, maybe I'll pick it up and see if somebody wants it. And then like I'm in the car looking at it, and I'm like, no, I'm gonna keep this. And in my head, I was like, oh, but I don't need to buy any more turtles because like I got the 4 turtles, and I think 87 versions of the turtles later. Yeah, man, it's just something about them. I keep going back, and it just not only do I feel like I do my best work with them, or like I feel like I do my best work with them, they just bring back the kid in me, right? Like they bring back that Saturday morning feeling. They bring that, eating cereal and being excited for like no responsibilities. Like they get that out of me, and I feel like that comes out in my photography too. Like you could tell that I'm having fun with those shots.
It's funny you say that, because I've literally said that in every episode so far. It's like, I don't know what it is. It's just like I see it, right? You see it. No matter what you're doing, whether it's toy photography or what you do at your job or selling hot dogs at the corner, right? If you're having fun doing it, people see it, right? And it's like, it's attractive to see that.
Yeah.
Compared to a shot that you might see that it's like, there might not be that much effort in this, and maybe they just posted it to post it, right?
Yeah.
Or something that you really like doing, like, man, like you said, I love these turtles. You keep going back, you having fun doing the shot, and it like all that behind the scenes stuff, behind the lens thing, it transitions into that photo, and you like it just picks up because it just makes that photo come out that great, right?
Yeah,
because it wouldn't look that great if you wasn't really into it.
No, and it's you feel like you got to put more into it, or at least I feel like I put more into it, right? Where it's like you just get excited and you keep going, oh, well, what if I did this and what if I did that? Like as opposed to like a figure that you're just like, all right, cool, like I got this, like I don't know what to do with it, but I got it, but I should probably shoot it, right? Like there's always that feeling of like, oh, I got this figure and it hasn't come out yet. Like, oh, somehow I got this pre-order early. I should go shoot this. And you're like, all right, cool. What am I going to do with this Superman? I don't really like Superman. I don't even know why I got it. Like, I'm like, all right, let me try to figure out what Superman I can do.
Yeah, it's that whole let me put it out first type of thing, right?
Right. Let me put it out first. Yeah. Which I feel like if I'm going to do let me put it out first now, I'm just going to do hand picks because like those seem to do really, really well. Like just like, oh, here it is. Snap,
Yeah. It's like everybody's competing with it, whether it's like photography or reviewing or anything. It's like, oh, I got it in my hands. Let me just put something out ASAP so I could be like the first, and a lot of those shots is just, it is what it is, and it don't even matter. Like, that's why sometimes I, especially when there's a figure that I didn't order, or maybe I did, and I'm like, you know what? I know what I'm going to see for the next week and a half. It's this figure all over the place. And it's like, that's why a lot of time.
It's like every time a Spider-Man gets released, you're like, oh God, everyone's going to be putting this up. It's like, all right, how many times can we see that pose? Okay.
I just put away the last the Mayfex. Was it? Yeah, the Mayfex Spidey, right?
The comic paint one.
The comic paint one.
Yeah.
I bought 2 of those. They've been sitting here since I got them. I literally just put them away, and I'm looking at the box, and I'm just like, why did I get this again? And I was like,
everyone had it.
yeah, and I'm just like, I was like, I'm not even gonna open them out the box. I feel like I've seen it so many times when it came out, that I was just like, whatever, and and it's going away. It's like, like slowly for many reasons, I'm like falling out of love of collecting, but not completely. Mm. But it's because of things like that. Like it's just the what's it called?
Overexposure.
Yeah, of that one thing, it's like that that FOMO that people have, especially when it comes to this community of collecting. It's like, oh man, everybody's getting this, I gotta get it.
Yeah, I try my best not to fall into that. I mean, I definitely, I get hit with it every once in a while. But I myself have certainly like started to hone in on what I want and what I like photographing. Yeah. So like I used to be, I used to be like a completist, like, oh, there's a new Build-A-Figure wave. I got to get I need the Build-A-Figure. And then one day I was like sitting here and I got in the Build-A-Figure wave. And I think it was like the Armadillo one or the Zenbu. And I was like, I don't even know who this guy is. Why did I feel like I needed him?
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm out. Like I can't. So I've definitely slowed down. Like, yeah, it'd be cool to get the Khonshu set, but like, I don't need classic Loki. Like, I don't need old man Loki. I don't know if I need zombie Scarlet Witch. Like, I'm not a big zombie guy. Like, yeah, the Marvel zombie comics were awesome. Do I need the figures though? Like, for what? So I can break them out for Halloween and then that's it and put them away? Like, I'm definitely, but I mean, then there's stuff like Ninja Turtles, man, like cartoon line. I'm a completist. Like, that's it. I got to get everything. Like I'm all in on that. Holothon killed me. Like, my kids aren't eating right now. No, I'm kidding. My kids are eating. They're fine. So, so certain things like, and even Star Wars, dude, like, I don't know, man, Star Wars, like, not to make this all about figures, but I've started like Black Series. I've been like, if it doesn't have a helmet or a droid, I don't know if I need it. Like their faces mess me up. So
yeah. Yeah, for real.
Like even like, I know that you release this another time, but today, like when the Luke and Grogu got released, I was like, oh great, another Grogu.
Yeah. Look, that went up, that went up in the news, and I was like, damn, I'm missing a lot of stuff. I should be posting this. And I'm like, but why do I feel like I already did? And I was like, is this new? I'm like, when it comes to Star Wars and Black Series, I'm so like,
yeah,
I don't even want to know about it because that's how like I don't mess with that line. But when I see it, I just ignore it. And I'm like, oh, wait, no, this is actually new. I should be posting this, right. But it's nah, I'm not doing that. We spoke about figures that you loved, figures that you might have not messed with, like you said with the Hulkbuster. Yeah. What's a shot that you've taken that you're like if this was a portfolio, you'll be like, this is the one?
I think it would be that Thanksgiving turtle shot that I did in the kitchen with everybody sitting around. That one, that one was an idea. That's one. Usually, like, there's ones that I like sit on for a while and I think about it. That one happened so fast, and it kind of exceeded my own expectations. Like, I was like, this has no business being this good. Like sometimes sometimes when you do a shot and you do it quickly and you're like, wait, what's wrong with it? Like I almost wanted to like look at it like, oh, okay, April blinked in the shot. Like that's what's wrong with it. It doesn't blink, but like that one, I was, I'm showing my daughter the MCU, like we're going through all the movies, and I had just shown her the original Avengers. and the shawarma scene came up, and I was like, oh, I wonder if I did the shawarma scene with the turtles, like if that would be funny. And that's where the idea came from for that one. And it just started as that, right? It was just like, all right, I'm going to try to sit him around the table. And of course, like limitations, right? Like, all right, this one's leg doesn't go like that. I can't really bend them this way. I was like, all right, so like, what if I put, like a couple of guys here, and then I put like Donnie in the kitchen, like leaning over the fridge, and I put Splinter in the back holding a teacup, like looking at everybody, like, what the hell is going on? And like, it just kind of shaped itself. And it was just, and then I just like snapped it real quick. I think that shot was the least amount of shots I actually took. Like, I'll probably take anywhere from like 50 to 100 shots.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that I'm probably on the low end for a lot of guys, but like, I think that one I took 10, and I was just like, this is it. Like, I really like how this came out. And, I colored it up a little bit, didn't do much. I just put it out, and I was like, yeah, I like this a lot. But yeah, that's probably like one of my favorite shots right now. Not that I like to say my own stuff is my favorite, but like, I always think about like how Work More or Less right now is doing all his shots, and then he's releasing them on the foam board.
Yeah,
I was like, that's one that I would put out, like that one, because it's got like it came out really well, and I feel like it's got a story in it.
Yeah, definitely. Like, when you posted it up, it was just like, wow, this looks great, And
Thank you.
Again, it's like the way I approach it is almost like, I was big into movies and cartoons and stuff. So I see like a scene in my head, right? And I try to recreate that scene. And with that shot, it's like, I see this. Like, I could see this on a TV screen. I could see this in a picture, right? Like, if someone just snapped it like at the dinner table or something, it looked like that great, like it was really nice. I really dug that. So yeah, that was a great shot.
Yeah, checks in the mail for saying that.
Yes, make it out to
yeah. I always say make the check out to Creative Arts Service House. You can just use my initials. Cash. Yeah.
Are you working on anything currently that maybe like maybe that you just been, are you working on anything recently like that
yeah,
future shot?
So I've been talking about Work More or Less. I've been trying to do his shots. And so like I know that we're like, what is this, the third month already? So I have an idea for the ghost pepper shot, like the using the plastic to do the reflection. I haven't gone out to buy the glass or the plexi to do the shot with, but like I have a couple shots in my head that I've been planning for a while that I just need to execute on. And I'll talk about it. I'm not like, it's not a big secret, like, because I'm sure somebody will go out there and do it better, and I'll be thrilled about it. But I want to use, right, because the whole premise of the Pepper's Ghost, where it's like it's reflected in there. I want to do the Spider-Man that's got the split face, and then have all the villains being projected around him, and like with the little Spidey sense going off around him, as if he's like, he knows he's in danger, but he doesn't know what's there.
Yeah.
So I want to try to do that. And I just thought that'd be cool too, to see if I could get like the different colors, like, because he's always got that red and blue kind of bouncing off of them. So that's what I want to do. We'll see. It might take me another 6 months to get that shot up and running, but yeah.
Man, hopefully you do that, whether it's soon or in 6 months. I can't wait to see that though.
I got to work on it.
Sounds pretty nice. That sounds pretty awesome. I kind of had like a similar idea now. I wanted to do, but like with Stan Lee, and like just have a bunch of figures like in the background, like I guess that he, helped create and stuff like that.
Yeah.
No idea how I could or possibly pull that off, but it was just like, oh, that'd be cool.
No, I mean, dude, it sounds like it sounds like we're trying to do similar shots in just different ways. So I mean, Jason's got that tutorial up. Like he breaks it down. I've jokingly told him, I was like, I'll pay you $50 for a masterclass every month. Let's do this. Like he's so smart, and he's so kind too. Like, but he's also just a really great teacher. Like, he does a really good job of breaking everything down, making it simple. He's another guy too that like provides feedback in a way that you're like, oh yeah, let me go do that. Like as opposed to like, oh man, like don't pick on my shot. So yeah, he's really great.
What's something that you learned the hard way doing this?
Couple of things actually. One, just because you like it doesn't mean everybody else is gonna like it. And it's never the shot you think is gonna get the attention that gets the attention. Right? Like,
Yeah.
it's never the, oh, this is like, I'm gonna do this and everyone's gonna love it. Like, it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Like, if you don't love it and you don't have the passion for that shot, people are gonna feel it. They'll feel it in there.
Yeah.
And I learned that the hard way. Like, because in the beginning, when you're starting out, you're like waiting for your first photo to go viral, right? Like, that's what you're waiting for, And like the most liked photo on my page has like, I think less than 300 likes. Like, I'm not like, I've gotten rid of that mentality of I'm doing it for the viral aspect. I'm doing it to get more followers. It's like, just start doing it for you and what you want to put out there. And that's when like stuff starts to like pick up, right? Like the other Ninja Turtle shot that I did, that I was just like, this will just be fun. When the Secret of the Used Turtles came out, and I did the wax on, wax off with the bubbles, like that was one that I was just like, this is just fun. Like, I just want to have fun with it. And the most questions I got off of that shot was everybody being like, how did you make those bubbles? I was like, what do you mean, how did I make the bubbles? It's soap and water, guys. Like, what do you mean? Like, I literally just said I dropped it on there. That's just bubbles, But yeah, but I remember like doing like big setups for shots and being like, this is good. This is gonna be the one. Everyone's gonna be so impressed with this. And everybody's like, no one cares. Like, it's just
you talk about not doing it for the likes and everything, right? Mm-hmm. And I totally feel that. But also in a way, it's like you kind of want those likes though, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because you put the work in and you're like, oh, you enjoy the shot, right? You're like, oh, this one came out great in your opinion. It's like, oh, this came out so good. It came out so good. I can't wait to post it. And then you get like 10 likes and it's like, damn, no one liked it as much as I did. And it kind of is like discouraging, right? Like,
oh, for sure.
And especially probably like when you start off, and that happens. Like, maybe like did that like get you in a funk maybe? Like, or like, again, like, did it discourage you in a way? Like, maybe I shouldn't do this or like that? Because I remember when I first did it, it was just like, damn, I thought it came out nice to me. And then it's like almost like I got roasted. And I was like, you know what? I mean, I think I still got the receipt for this camera.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I struggle with it all the time, right? Like and I've gotten better about not getting into a funk about it. I've also gotten better about being real with myself, right? Like saying it like, okay, yeah, you expected this to get a lot of likes, but like you kind of knew when you were doing it that you rushed it, or you could have taken another shot. Like I've kind of like use it as an opportunity to be like, all right, let's evaluate why it didn't. But it took a long time to get there, because like, especially in the beginning when you're like, you take time to do a shot and it gets 15 likes and you're like, what the hell? And you're like, did I use the wrong hashtag? Did I tag the wrong people? Like that always got to me. But what I actually started to look at is the comments more. Like that actually got me like that. So I've got photos that have more comments than likes, right? Like, and I don't know how that happens, but it happened. And it's usually like, you start a conversation with people about a shot and, you start to think to yourself, okay, but kind of like, this is what it's about, right? I put something out there and it evoked a reaction, right? Like I'm notorious for doom scrolling where I'm just like going and I'm liking everybody's photos, and Matt Machu said that to me before. He's like, why did you like this shot? And I was like, well, first off, I liked it. You know, like it's not a bad thing. And it's not asking like a bad thing. It's just like, what did you see in the shot? But the other aspect is I kind of look at it and I'm like, hey, this guy put effort into it and he put it out there. Give him the like. They don't cost anything, right? Like it's not like I gave him $1, you know. But like it gets you, you know, it definitely gets you down a little bit, and you start to question yourself. But I find that if you're looking at the comments and people are engaging with you, that's kind of more important, right? Like people having conversations with you, like, you know, you get the little fire emojis and those like make you happy, you know, but like people like actually comment and they'll be like, damn, like I love, you know, put the bubbles. Damn, these bubbles are awesome. It's like, they're just bubbles, guys. Like what, you know, like, but like that made me feel good because it made me feel like I did something different, you know? Yeah, like it's hard, dude. But it's hard. It's hard with any art, right? Like every art aspect you do, you want it to be good to you, and then you want people to like it. And that's not always the case, right? Like I found that when I was also like, sometimes you like want to do a shot because it references like one of your favorite scenes in a movie or something. Not everybody liked that movie. Not everybody liked that scene, you know, or like the movie's just changed over time, or, you know, shit. Talk to people now and they're like, what movie is that? And you're like, oh my God, I'm so old. You don't even know what movie that is. You know, it's like there was another Spider-Man before Tom Holland. Oh my God, yes. You know, so like there's a lot that factors into it. But I find that if I can hang on to like one really good comment or one interaction, you know, like that's what I look for. You know, like, oh, when I first started, I did that Sentinel shot, right? With like I kit bashed a morph. Like that was the shot. When I got a Sentinel, I was like, this is it. Like all I could think about is that X-Men Days of Future Past episode, not Days of Future Past, the X-Men episode, like the first episode where Morph gets killed. I was like, I'm going to do this. This is going to put me on the map. People are going to love it. 36 likes later. What the hell happened? What did I do wrong? Nothing. You did nothing wrong. You know, like, it's just like, you can't fight the algorithm and like, you know, be happy with your life. Like you just can't do it. And I know that people have like turned off their likes and stuff, but like, there's a part of me too that's like, I want people to look at this picture or look at anybody's picture and be like, damn, this picture's good. Why did it only get 5 likes?
Yeah.
Because then I feel like people are more inclined to share photos with other people. And I'll do that too. Like if I see a photo that I really like, I don't care who it is, like I'll share it because it's good. And I know that's like not good for your algorithm or for people to get you noticed, but it's like this guy, somebody put effort into it. Like share it. And that's why we do it on the show too, right? Like we talk about those shots on the show because it's like a chance just for us to talk about technique and hone technique and educate people that are watching. You know, but then at the same time, it's like somebody put effort into it. Like let's celebrate that. Let's celebrate the fact that you tried.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely I was following so many photographers and just scrolling through images and pics, and then it was like I just don't remember even like it just started all meshing together, and I was like, oh man, I don't even know who this is now, right?
Right.
And then, but a lot of these guys that I did follow, it's like I don't even see their posts anymore. Sometimes I go back to see if I'm even following them, and it's like, oh yeah, they are, but they just stopped.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it sucks, but then it's like, oh man, you know what? I got enjoyment out of whatever they put out, right?
Right.
And then now it's someone else now. Now it's someone else's turn.
It's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I find that I always go by stories. For some reason, I find that like the stories always show up more in my feed of like people that I'm actually following.
Mm-hmm.
And like if I'll click on somebody, I'll be like, oh man, I haven't seen one of their posts in a while. And then like I'll dive into it. And it's like, yeah, it's like 4 or 5 pictures that I haven't seen. And then it's like go back and I'll comment and I'll like the stories have become my like checklist of people. Like, all right, I can go back in, make sure I've seen everybody, you know, that kind of thing. But it's tough. And like and at the same time too, like we're not in it to fight the algorithm, right? Like, you know, and you're also not expecting to make money doing this. Like this is supposed to be fun.
Yeah, yeah. But you know, let's
Oh yeah, look, if someone wants to pay me to do it, I'll be happy.
But you know, like again, that's going back to, you know, that whole you want everybody else to appreciate the same way you appreciated your own shot, you know, and we've seen now that when you do this, potentially it could lead up to doing it for a living,
Sure.
like some of the dudes we mentioned before,
Yeah.
with Trevor and Sergeant Bananas and things like that. Johnny having a book, which was great. It's awesome, to working with Super 7, and Trevor doing the things with Mythic Legions and whatnot. And who knows how many other guys that we might not even know, right?
Yeah,
And
sure.
and so, like, sometimes people might want to do this, with aspirations of, oh, one day I can work for Mezco and do shots like The Amazing does, So, whatever the case may be on why you're getting into this hobby,
Yeah.
hey, whatever. As long as
Yeah,
it's
dude,
exciting.
like I think if you're gonna do that, right, you gotta be honest with yourself. Right. Like if you're getting into this hobby, or if you want to get into, and again, I'm 2 years in, like, don't, part of me has there's no one should listen to me for this, but I think about it for the same way, I think about like how I got into my career. Like, you got to be honest with you. If you're going to do this for the money, you still got to find something different and special about you that's going to set you apart. If you're going to do it for fun and hope that something comes out of it, cool. Like, that's a different aspect. That's a different way to do it. I mean, I'm sure, like, you've talked to Johnny, right? And you talked to Trevor, and it's like, they didn't start out wanting to do it as a job, but like all of a sudden it just kind of like got to that point. I mean, Trevor talks about how he used to just shoot the Four Horsemen stuff and then showed it to them. And they were like, yeah, you should come work for us. Like, so you've got to, like, you got to get good, and you got to hone yourself, and you got to like do it as a craft, but then you got to like take a chance at something else and sell yourself a little bit. Like, there's so many other aspects to doing something like this as a profession that you got to be willing. I hate saying it because it sounds like a cliche, but like, you got to be willing to sacrifice something, right? Like, like, and Trevor talked about this too, where he's like, you also, if you're going to do this for a living, you have to do it. There's no like, oh, I don't feel like shooting today. No, it's a job. You got a deadline. Like, now it becomes a different thing. And, again, like, if somebody wanted to pay me, cool, like, that'd be amazing. But like, at the same time, like, I got into this because I needed something that wasn't my job, and I could do it on my speed and have fun with it. I don't, although, the money I spend with NECA, maybe if they wanted to pay me, they would counterbalance and I'd feel better about it. But, like, there's, I hate to be that guy and everybody's like watching this, like, yeah, right. If somebody came to you to pay you, it's like, like, relax. Like, I don't know if like, it would have to be on my terms,
Yeah, no, I definitely feel on that, because it's like, right now you're doing it for fun. We'll do this for fun, unwinding in a way, right? From life. This is just like somebody would sit down, watch Netflix with a glass of wine just to unwind. Others go to the gym and do whatever. And then, a lot of us just come down and play with a figure or take up a shot, and set it up, do whatever. And when it comes as a job, it's like, all right, well, we need this by Wednesday. And it's like, I don't feel like doing it, but I have to, because now this is work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so like, it's messing with your sanctum, right? Like, that's your safe space.
Yeah. That's like, for someone that goes to the gym, and then all of a sudden, like, hey guy, I love the way you work out. You wanna be a trainer? And you're like, I guess.
Yeah.
But now
that happens to me all the time too. When I'm at the gym, they're like, you should train people. And I was like, no.
Yeah. I go to the gym too. It's called Dunkin' Donuts. And
it's like, it's my favorite. You're a Simpsons fan. It's like favorite Simpsons episode where he's like walking around. He's like, Gime? What's a Gime? And then he walks in. He goes, oh, Jim. And he walks back out.
But yeah, it's regardless of whether the fact of you're getting into this to just for fun, or for some downtime, or maybe with aspirations of doing it big time. Hey, regardless of what the case is, the end goal is to get better, right?
Yeah.
And be good, because that's the only way you'll actually get better and maybe get a job offer in the future or whatnot. If there was if there was any advice that you would give maybe your past self when you first started, that from today to then, what would it be?
It would be two things. It would be one, it would be just get started, right? Just shoot and learn, right? Just take a shot and learn. Take a shot and learn. Like don't get down on yourself. Don't get cocky either, right? Like just shoot and learn. And the other piece would be to get involved in the community. Like this community it's I've gotten into other things before where it's like, whether it's like a gym aspect or things like that. And this community was more welcoming and more excited to talk to people than any community I've ever talked to. Right. There is very little of, well, I'm better than you, or I'm this, or I'm that, or I'm part of this group and I'm part of that. Like there's so little of that everybody's just excited. We're all just like reliving our youth or recapturing our youth or just being happy to talk to each other about things. That's what drives me. That's what I feel like drives a lot of people in the community. And then it also just opens up the avenue to, like we talked about, get feedback and learn from other people who've been doing this. Like those are the two things I would say. It's don't overthink it, shoot and learn, right? Whether you post it or not, just shoot and learn. And then just get involved. Like everybody's so like good in their own way, and you can learn so many different things, right? Like whether somebody's really great at posing, or somebody's really great at lighting, or someone's really great at like camera placement or props, whatever it is, right? Sir Dork is blowing stuff up. You want to learn how to blow stuff up. Like there's so many things that you can learn from other people, and they're so excited to talk to people about it. That's my favorite part. That's definitely my favorite part. Like she's even sitting here with you, man. Like, you're like, yeah, we'll probably chat for like 40 minutes. It's like an hour and a half already. Like we're just like going, it's get excited to do this stuff.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's a huge piece of advice is just do it. 'Cause man, I'll tell you this much. As many ideas as I have, like, oh man, I have an idea for a shot that, no Nikes on me, because I don't do it.
Right.
And it's just like, I don't know, whatever's holding me back, it's myself, it's again, it's your own critic, and it's my head. I'm like, nah, it ain't gonna come out nice. Why even bother?
Yeah.
And like I got that Buzz Lightyear, and it took me a month and a half after I got that figure to be like, nah, enough is enough. Like I'm gonna do it, you know. But that's always what's stopping me, is just do it.
Well, I hope you liked that episode. Like I said, Jay Shaw's a big Turtle fan. That's what got me following him in the first place. Hopefully, I can finish this by the end of the season, and I can show you what I got. It ain't gonna be nothing spectacular, but it'll be something. I'm definitely taking tips, from all the photographers I sat down and talked to with already. But we're coming down to the final stretch. So, again, thank you for tuning in, and check you out on the next episode of Behind the Lens.